Okay, and then for the back side, our first problem says there were 2 birds in a cage. The first bird, Becky, decided to fly from her spot on the bottom left corner of the cage to the tallest branch to eat some leaves. The branch was in the top right corner of the cage. The second bird, Ronald, just hopped across the bottom of the cage to get some water. He started in the bottom right back corner and hopped up to the bottom front left corner. How far did each bird travel? Again, when we're doing pythag in 3D, the first distance, or the first distance that we're going to find is the distance on the bottom. Okay, so if we're going to start with Ronald. Okay, maybe we'll write Ronald here so we know what we're trying to find. Okay, Ronald's staying on the bottom. Okay, we always have to find the distance across the bottom first. He started in the bottom back right corner, that would be this one here, and hopped up to the bottom front left corner, which would be this point here. Okay, so again, if we're looking down into our cage, the bottom of our cage is going to look like this rectangle here. So this is 12, this is 4, and Ronald's hopping across like that. Okay, so we have our right triangle, and we're able to use Pythagorean's theorem to find the distance. Okay, so if I say my A is 4 and my B is 12, I can find my C. So I have 4 squared plus 12 squared equals C squared. 4 squared is 16 plus 12 squared is 144 equals C squared. 16 plus 144 is 160 equals C squared. Okay, and then we have to get rid of the squared by square rooting. The squares and the square roots cancel, so we're left with C equals the square root of 160. Okay, so the distance Ronald went, the distance on the bottom here is 160. Okay, the next bird, okay, is again flying across the cage. Okay, flying across our 3D cube. Okay, Becky's in her spot on the bottom left corner, so this spot here, okay, and she's flying to the tallest branch, which is in the top right corner of the cage. Okay, it's going to be the top right back corner here. Okay, so we have our triangle here. Again, for your second distance to go across the cube, you're always going to have to use your answer from finding the distance on the bottom. Okay, so I'm going to say my A is 160 and my B is going to be this 8. Okay, so the square root of 160 squared plus 8 squared equals C squared. The square root of 160 squared, well, squares and square roots cancel. We're just left with 160 plus 8 squared, which is 64, equals C squared. 160 plus 64 is 224, equals C squared. And our last step is to square root both sides to get rid of the squared on that C. So we're left with C equals the square root of 224. All right, so Ronald went a distance of the square root of 160, and Becky went a distance of the square root of 224. Okay. So I think you'll start to recognize the same pattern. When you have any 3D, no matter what the situation is, you're finding the distance across the bottom, and then you're finding the distance through the entire shape. Okay, I'll do one more with you, and you're going to be left to do number 3 by yourself. Okay, so I'll do one more together. Okay, this one says that we need to find the length of T. Okay, but again, in order to find the length of T, notice how it's going all the way across our cube. Okay, we have to find the length of x first. Okay, so again, this is the rectangle. The bottom of this, or of this cube, rectangular prism, whatever shape it is, the bottom of it looks like this. Okay, this is 12, this is 5. If I want to find the distance across the bottom, this is the distance I'm looking for. Okay, that is C. Okay, so x is, this is how we find the length of x. Okay, so I have 12 squared plus 5 squared equals C squared. Because I'm going to use 12 as my A and 5 as my B. C is our hypotenuse. That is what we are looking for. 12 squared is 144 plus 5 squared is 25 equals C squared. 144 plus 25 is 169 equals C squared. And the last step for solving is to take the square root of both sides. If I square root this side, gotta take the square root of the other side. Those cancel out. So we're left with the square root of 169, which is 13. So C equals 13, that means x equals 13. Okay, now we can use 13 to find T, because look at, this is the triangle that we're gonna make. Notice how we needed x in order to find T. Okay, so T, I'm gonna use, my A is 3, I'll use 13 for my B, and C is what we're missing. Okay, so we got 3 squared plus 13 squared equals C squared. 3 squared is 9 plus 13 squared is 169 equals C squared. And 9 plus 169 is 178 equals C squared. Our last step is to get rid of the squared, and we do that by taking the square root of both sides. Squares and square roots cancel. We get C equals the square root of 178. So the distance of T is the square root of 178. Okay? So you have one problem to do now. Use the previous problems. They all follow the same pattern. Distance across the bottom. You have to use that distance in order to find the distance across. Okay, ask questions if you have them, but your job is to do number 3